you doing? I'm guessing you're watching this video because you want to know if medication can cause or trigger your acne. So without mixing my words, yes, some medications can, and it's definitely worth knowing what those medications are. Because even though certain factors like our hormones can trigger medication or our lifestyle choices, medications definitely have a place in causing acne or things that resemble acne also. It's good to at least know which medications can trigger your hormonal or cystic acne, because then at least you have you can make an informed decision as to whether to go to the doctors and get an alternative, whether to carry on with it, or whether there are things you can do to help it. So let's have a look at what we can do to help you. My name is Alison, welcome to the channel. Before I get started, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification so you know when the next video is coming out. And if you look below in the description, expand that description, you will see there are 3 books you can choose from that are completely free to you. 3 booklets. There is Adult Acne More Than Skin Deep, there is Eczema More Than Skin Deep, and Dry Skin More Than Skin Deep. Remember, we're also available on Instagram, Facebook, and our own Tigs website. So now let's get started. Now, I would say on a personal level that I would always choose the alternatives, the natural alternatives, instead of going straight to pharmaceutical things when it comes to looking after myself, whether I've got headaches or aches and pains or even sinus issues or just general things going on with my body. So for me personally, there is a place for pharmaceutical medication, but it's always my second choice as opposed to my first choice. Now, I know that not everyone can be in that position, specifically if you have a lot of pain that you have to handle on a daily basis and therefore need pharmaceutical medication, or for example, if you're on antidepressants, or if you have epilepsy or heart issues. There are many medical reasons as for why you should be taking pharmaceutical medications, but at least know that I'm going to go through a list now to explain to you which specific ones can trigger your acne. Now, just before I get started, this is where the boring part comes in, the disclaimer to say that I'm not a doctor. The advice I'm going to give you now is only purely for advice, based on my own experience, based on the research I have done. And yes, take it as you want my information, but at the end of the day, if it's something serious, go and see your doctor. So I'm just going to get straight to the list that I've created, because these are the most common medications that can cause acne or skin-like conditions. So the first one you have is a corticosteroid. It's an anti-inflammatory medication for rheumatoid arthritis, IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and also for people who suffer with asthma. You then have an anabolic steroid, which you may have heard of because bodybuilders, or not all bodybuilders, are renowned for taking this because it actually helps to pump up their body, make it look pumped up a lot quicker than you would do if you were just lifting weights and building muscle that way. That leads me on to another muscle building medication or drug, not really medication, is androgenic steroids. Again, that's something you would normally take, and if you were prescribed it by a doctor, it has to be for a very good reason. You then have anticonvulsant drugs. These are for seizures, they're for epilepsy. So again, if you are taking drugs like this, don't just stop taking them because you suspect that they're causing your acne or any acne-like skin condition on your body or on your face. Speak to your doctor, see if they can find an alternative for you. We then have quite an old school one, it's a barbiturate. Now, in the past, that was used for anxiety and insomnia and also seizures as well. But nowadays, you tend to have more modern day drugs. So if you are taking barbiturates, ask your doctor why and see if they can find an alternative if you suspect it's causing your acne. You then have lithium, which is prescribed for people with bipolar disorder. Lithium can also be in antidepressants. So if you are taking that and you suspect that it's causing your acne, again, speak to your doctor first. Lithium in medications can cause dryness of the skin, so it doesn't just cause acne, it can cause probably eczema. It's also being linked to excessive sweating, and if you are excessively sweating, that can dehydrate the skin. That leaves me last with 2 ingredients which are in medications. It's bromides and iodides, and they are commonly found in cough medicines and sedatives. So if you suspect that you are having acne because of any of those specific medications, speak to your doctor. That list is only a small drop in the ocean of drugs that are known to cause or trigger acne. But as I've said before, don't just stop taking medication, speak to your doctor first. Now, the other medications that I haven't mentioned but are going to be spoken about in more detail are your contraceptive pill, And also not just a contraceptive pill, contraception in general, because there are other things other than just the pill itself which can cause acne. And there's also certain antibiotics which can also cause acne. Now I'm going to speak about those more in detail because as well as causing acne, they can also help acne depending on which ones you take. So let's get to it. So you may or may not know that there are some medications that can help with acne on a temporary basis. Either they get rid of the acne quickly and it comes back, or they get rid of the acne long term or even medium term, simply because they're camouflaging the problem, but they're not actually dealing with the actual symptom of the acne on the skin. What they're not looking at is why your hormones, for example, are fluctuating or why they are imbalanced. So there are medications such as the contraceptive pill, which you can take, but there are different types of contraceptive pill. Some of them can help your acne, some of them can actually trigger it. So it's definitely worth knowing why and then going back to your doctor and looking at alternatives. Now, for myself personally, as a young person, I was taking Depo-Provera, which is the contraceptive injection, and that worked fantastically well for my acne. In fact, I didn't have any acne at all until my 30s. This is because for various reasons I'd come off that and then tried something else. Now, I tried the Mirena coil, which is a progestogen, it's a plastic coil that releases progestogen straight into the uterus. Now for me, on a personal level, it did not work well, but it worked well for my friends. Not all my friends, but some. Now the reason it didn't work well for me was, yes, it did its job of preventing unwanted pregnancy, but what it did was it gave me full facial acne on my cheeks. Big lumps on my cheeks that then, once they cleared up, would come back on a regular basis, and then they would scar, and that scarring was hyperpigmented, and as a result I was left with acne off and on pretty much constantly for over 10 years, and then the subsequent scarring that I then had to deal with. So for me, now prevention is better than the cure. I'd rather prevent it from happening in the first place than dealing with the scarring afterwards. Now, I previously mentioned the contraceptive pill earlier, so I'm going to go back to that because the contraceptive pill has been proven to both help acne and also cause acne, trigger it off, which is a good and a bad thing, isn't it? So it can improve your skin when you have acne if you choose the right one, but also if you choose the wrong one, as I did in my 30s, it can be a big trigger. Now this is because obviously different pills have different formulations, as in different ingredients, and you're not going to know which one you react to until you actually take that on a daily basis. Now, for those of you on the pill, you know there's two types you can have. There's either the full pill, which is a mixture of estrogen and progestin, or there's a mini pill, which is progestin only. Now that progestin, there's different types. Now depending on which pill you're on, you'll have a different type of progestin, and that is what will affect your body and affect your skin. Now, depending on which progestin you have, it will affect your androgens, your male hormones, differently. If it increases your androgen levels, this is where you will have more sebum production, as in oil production on your skin. There's different things it can do, and that is what can trigger your acne. It can either improve your acne and make it worse, or it can make it better. There's also the opposite. So if you are taking the pill and you have no issues at all, then you come off the pill, you can have what's called the rebound effect, where you suddenly start having acne. Now this is because, again, you have been in control of your hormones whilst taking the pill, and by having that removed, for women that want to come off the pill for whatever reason, whether it's time to have babies or whether it's time just because you've got of an age you want to come off it now that you've changed the hormone levels in your body, you then start getting acne. So this is when you've got to start taking control of what's going on in your body and understand that there's obviously something going on which is causing your hormones to either fluctuate or be imbalanced. Now, I know for myself, when I eventually came off the Mirena coil, I had the choice to try a different pill and keep trying different pills. Now, one thing that put me off was the ingredients in there, but also I did realise that if I simply went back on and kept trying different pills, eventually, when I got older and had to come off it, I'm going to be faced with the same problem again. My acne is going to come back because I'm not dealing with the actual root cause, which is either fluctuating hormones or a hormone imbalance. So therefore, I decided just to give it a go the whole hog, get rid of the pill completely, and make the decision to start to clean up my lifestyle, clean up my skin health, and work out what was going on. That might not be for everybody, but this is where I can help, as in the advice I can give. Now, I briefly touched upon the fact that some of the ingredients weren't right for me when I was looking at different types of the pill. And this isn't just the pill, it's a lot of medications have this, and they actually have lactose in them. Now, supposedly the manufacturers say that the lactose amount, and the doctors say this as well, is so small that it shouldn't be an issue, but I know it was for me because it used to give me either headaches or like stomach issues. So for me personally, I just keep away from any medications now that have lactose in, so I scrupulously look at the ingredients labels on all medication. Now, the next one I'm going to look at is painkillers. Now, you've got your basic, the ones you can buy over the counter, like paracetamol and ibuprofen and some other pain medications. Again, look out for the fact that they may have lactose, and as you know, if you have lactose intolerant, or if you know lactose simply triggers off your acne, keep away from it. Now, with that being said, I'm pretty sure paracetamol hasn't got any ingredients other than lactose in there that trigger off acne. But I know something such as ibuprofen. Now, even though it doesn't directly cause acne, it can irritate your gut, it can irritate your stomach. If you irritate your gut, as you know by now, the gut and the skin are intrinsically linked. If you irritate the gut, you irritate the bacteria that's in there, the good and the bad bacteria, and you can therefore cause problems with your skin. You can then break out in acne. That's definitely what's happened to me in the past when I take ibuprofen. But I also find just things as simple as the artificial colours they put in there, the artificial sweeteners, also for me trigger off issues with my gut and then trigger off issues with my acne. So that's one to think about. And then also taking into account that even though ibuprofen is over the counter, if you don't take it properly by lining your stomach with food or with a non-dairy or a dairy-based drink, again you can trigger off issues with your gut and therefore trigger off issues with your acne. And I know for a fact when I was taking ibuprofen for some dental pain, by the time I finished taking that, I had pain in my stomach, and when I did go and see about it with a health practitioner, as in a naturopath, he did say that parts of my gut were inflamed simply by taking the ingredients that were in the ibuprofen itself. So that's again something to think about. Now there are painkillers that are a lot stronger than ibuprofen, so again they can irritate the gut, and then therefore can cause problems with your skin. Now probably things like codeine-based medications, because again they are supposed to be stronger than box standard paracetamol and ibuprofen. So to be very, very wary of that. So if you start getting acne problems or skin problems when you are taking strong pain meds, just be aware they can be triggers.